Hello, EDL 602 class. I am Dr. Cockrell, your instructor, and I just wanted to do a week 3 update. So, quickly, I want to go back and just kind of talk about week 1 instruction. And that's where you guys turned in your getting to know the class and your video presentations. Kudos to those of you who got your discussions turned in and commented onto classmates. If you did that, you received the 15 points that were available. For those of you guys with the video presentations, you did a really good job. I know I've left comments for some of you guys because you did not actually do the concluding statement. You had to have the concluding statement of, was this video interesting and did you learn anything new, and how would you use it as a future leader? So I know many lost points for that reason. Now, as we get into the week 3 information, I just want to actually remind you that you do need to read the chapters as you're completing these assignments. You have to read the different chapters. I will be looking for information from your chapter as we start looking at, as I start grading your strategic leadership plan. When you're doing the strategic leadership plan, if we're looking at um, domains 3 and 4, we're looking at continuous improvement for teachers and staff and a culture of care and collaboration. So, as we're looking at those, you're going to be answering the question of how would an administrator foster a culture of continuous improvement for teachers and staff? And then you're answering the question for domain 4, how would an administrator build a culture of care and collaboration that would impact student success? These are not your ideas or your thoughts. The thing that I would like for you to do is to read the chapters for these 2 domains, and then using what the authors have stated in the text, you are going to build up your answer around these questions. Remember, we have scenarios that we're going to look at as we're answering these questions. So you have 3 different scenarios to choose from: a high poverty urban or rural elementary school with declining math and literacy scores, a suburban middle school experiencing wide achievement gaps between student subgroups, and then an urban rural high school struggling with curriculum alignment and inconsistent instruction. I would tell you what you chose for domains 1 and 2 is what you're going to choose for 3 and 4, so that you are building your actual strategic leadership plan, right? So whatever you decided was your scenario, school scenario, you're going to continue to build upon that. So you're going to engage deeply with our text to apply those key concepts from domains 3 and 4. And then as you're looking at your scenarios, you're going to promote um how you would attack these things using the domains. Rather than you simply answering questions, you're going to analyze these school scenarios and craft a leadership action plan. Excuse me. That addresses the core challenges using the concepts from domains 3 and 4. Guys, please understand that everything you're doing with these domain assignments will build to your last domains project. If you've not looked ahead to see what that entails, I would tell you that is something you should do, so that as you're building this plan, you know what the end is. So please keep that in mind as you're going through these domains assignments. And the other thing I want to make sure that I address is that you should not go beyond 2 pages in your written response. Page 1 is your cover page. Page 2 and 3 should be whatever you're writing to answer these questions. And then page 4 is your reference page. 2 pages for your written communication or your written response. Use headings to organize your writing and make sure you have answered the requirements. Um, it's always important to use in-text citations per domain, but I have here you have to have 2. Your final submission but must be written in your voice and based directly on your understanding of the textbook. Again, I warn and caution you, please do not use AI to generate your answers and do not plagiarize the information from the textbook. And guys, at the end of the day, you don't have to use Google. Everything you need is in the textbook. Please read the textbook. Now, let's look at the rubric. I grade everything based off of this rubric. I want you to make sure that your responses are written in a manner that answers these 2 questions. You have headings listed. All of those things you're formatting using APA style. You don't go past the page number. Those are the things that will give you a score of the total points 50 on these assignments. As we look ahead, looking ahead to week 4, we are doing the exact same assignment next week, and I'll come on and talk about the questions that are there for that, for those 2 domains. But guys, thinking about a continuous improvement for teacher and staff, as well as, the culture of care and collaboration, be specific as you respond to those according to what the text says. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. And that way, via email, and that way I can respond to assist with your understanding of the domain's assignments. I will talk a little bit about the written responses after all the assignments have been submitted for the very first domains 1 and 2 and give some updates and feedback on those. But as for now, week 3, you're working on your domains assignments. I hope you have your textbook because you cannot complete this without a textbook. I don't want to know what others are saying. I just want you to read the textbook and respond and use in-text citations. Again, if you need anything, please contact me via email. Thank you and have a good evening.